Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about the 442 Days of Tyranny that TFBTV YouTuber James Reeves didn't understand that happened here in Ohio. And you don't need to be blaming High Point for backlogs, bro, for the Yeet Cannon. You need to be blaming Mike Dewine, current governor, and that dumb bitch Nan Whaley, ex-Democrat mayor, because they were they were both people to help shut the motherfucker down for that time period, man. Not to mention Tim, what's that dude's name? Tim Tractor, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Thector, T-H-E-A-K-E-R, who's the mayor of Mansfield, where High Point's actual location for manufacturing is located, who's a Republican, rhino sack of shit, honestly. Just like most of the fucking Republicans in the state are a bunch of rhino sacks of shit is what it is doing anymore. And the thing of it is, you have all these fucking people who helped shut down our country for legitimately this fucking state for 442 days until Dewine's emergency powers as governor were finally lifted and we finally got back to full capacity and fully being open again after it was supposed to be a whole, 2 weeks to slow the spread, 2 weeks to flatten the curve bullshit, which is all fucking lie. And I called it out then that it was a fucking lie, dude. And I'm like, I'm not fucking shutting down. Fuck that, dude. And that's the thing. And that's why I was running for governor back then. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to really get off the ground with my campaign. And, basically went shit is what it was from there is what it ended up being. And of course, Dewine got reelected to do a second term now. But this is what I've already said, dude. Especially with the shit show going on in Ohio right now when it comes to our state house currently, where you got basically three factions, Democrats, rhinos, and then fucking basically actual Republicans / fucking MAGA Republican people, essentially is what it is. There's like 45 of them there, give or take. I don't know how the hell the maps are going to be redrawn right now, but I'll tell you right now, I don't care who my state rep is after him, dude. Whether it be Reggie Stolfist, whether it be Scott Ollinger, whether it be Jim Thomas or somebody else for that matter, I'm primarying that motherfucker in 2024, dude. I don't care who it is. I'm putting a primary challenge out there right now for these people, dude. Because I'm sick and tired of this shit. I am so fucking done with it, dude. Entirely. And honestly, with what I'm seeing right now, I am in a prime position not only to primary a state rep in 2024, I'm in a very good position if I can get a good campaign up and running to actually become governor in 2026, honestly. Because Dewine will be termed out. You'll have a completely open field at that point. And people are so fucking sick and tired of the establishment at this point, I believe, that I could easily come in there and rule the fucking roost is what it is, dude. And get shit done and actually make this state a real good constitutional based state again is what it is, man. No more lockdowns, no more fucking tyrant bullshit ever is what it is, dude. Have a completely open state. Have a completely good to go Ohio again. Make us basically a manufacturing hub for Second Amendment, which is what we should be already at this point, dude. The fact that we're not is ridiculous. The fact that we're not making guns, optics, etc. in this state at a mass level is ridiculous. Dude. The fact that only High Point exists here and not, other companies like SIG or Taurus or Glock or anything else like that, dude, is fucking bullshit entirely. We should have multiple gun companies in the state right now that are producing massively, is what it is. And I don't care if they're building ARs or AKs or handguns or fucking Yeet Cannons, whatever the hell they want to call them at that point, dude. And not to mention optics and everything else for that matter, man. It's fucking dumb as shit to have China control our manufacturing supply for a lot of cheap optics when we could easily have that done here domestically on U.S. soil in the state of Ohio right now. And to me, it's absolutely ridiculous to not have that be a thing already, dude. So instead, you got these morons like Dewine sitting here fucking being like, let's invest in electric vehicles that are going to blow the fuck up at some point because the batteries are going to get fucked up in storms and shit, dude. Which has already happened, by the way, in Florida with the hurricane there. You had a fucking battery that was on fire for like 27 hours or something crazy like that, dude, because what happens to those damn things, dude? EVs are a fucking joke, dude. They're not the future. They're not green energy at all, dude. They are literally a ticking time bomb waiting to happen is what it is. And the fact that we're sitting here producing the shit in mass is ridiculous as fuck is what it is, man. Like, no, invest in actual automobiles again. Invest in gas-powered fucking vehicles. Invest in actual manufacturing. Invest in steel again, for God's sakes, dude. Become a steel manufacturing hub. Stop being the damn Rust Belt and start being a fucking actual good steel belt again. Seriously. Make Ohio awesome again. Do what needs to be done, man. That's the kind of platforms I'm running on, by the way, for those interested. But, yeah, to talk about James from TFBTV there. I know he was bitching at High Point people the other day at SHOT Show about how it's like, oh, you know, the Yeet Cannon still went out like 3 years after they announced it. And it's like, yeah, dude, you had pretty much a year and a half of lockdowns in this state between legitimately fucking February 2020 all the way to like early June of 2021 when the state house and the state senate finally decided, no, we're not going to have governor and be the emergency power thing at that point, and we're going to limit the powers and stuff like that he has or she has, or whoever it is at the time or whatever. And they could have done that a year before that too, by the way. I called him on impeaching Dewine back in 2020, and he never fucking did it then, dude, because they're a bunch of lazy motherfuckers, dude. Because that's, again, Ohio politically right now is one of the most corrupt states, if not the most corrupt state in the fucking country. We've known this for years through FBI probes and stuff like that, dude. There's a reason why ex-Ohio Speaker Larry Householder is being federally indicted right now, and his trial's about to start for bribery scandals, dude. Which, by the way, Dewine and Husted both should have been part of that whole thing. You should have had Frank LaRose, our Secretary of State, currently also be part of that as well in that one for taking bribe money. Like half the fucking Republicans and every single fucking Democrat in the state house right now, except for like the brand new people is what it is, should all be on that fucking list as well for that matter, dude, because they've all done the same shit at this point. And if it wasn't for that scandal, it was for fucking people like Allison Russo taking legit bribes on camera, big old fat envelopes full of cash from Moms Man Action, you know, or Casey Weinstein, another fucking Democrat, committing a hate hoax on himself a month after I was federally swatted. And that being never investigated on his ass, dude. When he's sitting there putting fucking memes in his post, in his actual mailbox, and then being like, these people are sending me all these tyrant memes because I'm pushing gun bans and magazine bans. No, you're fucking hate hoaxing yourself, and we know that for a fact because there's actual fucking evidence, an actual digital trail out there, by the way, that shows Weinstein on a fucking buy-sell trade set on Facebook 3 days after that, fucking putting a printer up for fucking auction, dude. The fact that you had never had an FBI investigation of that shit, dude, is ridiculous as fuck. Like, come on, man. What the hell y'all are doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're attacking right-wing people only because you're a fucking weaponized shit show alphabet agency is what it is, dude. And that's exactly what it is at the end of the day. It's the same thing with fucking ATF at this point. They're all a bunch of weaponized agencies is what it is, dude. They never give a fuck about your rights. They're just a bunch of tyrant fuckboys is what it is, man. I'm sick and tired of it, honestly. But, yeah, so basically, for those that want to bitch about Yeet Cannons and stuff like that, whether it be James Reeves or somebody else for that matter, it does have to do with the shit that they're talking about, dude. Like, seriously. Believe the people at High Point when they tell you everything that happened, bro. Whether it be shutdowns, whether it be legitimately supply chain issues and all that stuff like that, because it's all true. It's legitimately all true, man. You know, it's pretty hard to have a full working company when you have some dumbass fucking mandates in place, which, by the way, aren't law, never were, to where you can only have like minimum, or I should say maximally, about half of your staff in place at any time in a shift and stuff like that, dude. So if you have like 100 workers or whatever the case be, you can only have like maybe 50 in the place at any given time is what it is. So of course you're not going to be able to crank out stuff as fast, or you're not going to be able to manufacture different products as fast, or do research and development as fast, or whatever it is, dude. And yeah, of course there's going to be that giant backlog then. And it's not fucking, you know, unimaginable. I'm sure other companies have the same problems, dude. And that's why you saw a bunch of gun companies over the past few years now move out of these tyrant-ass states like Massachusetts and Connecticut and stuff like that and start moving to freer states like Tennessee and everything like that, dude. You know, that's why you saw these gun companies move from one place to another is what it was, dude, because they're sick and tired of having their firearms that they produce be under attack is what it is, man. Which in reality, if they really wanted to do stuff, they would, and I've said this before, dude, the thing that pisses me off the most, and this is kind of where it comes down to being, when it comes to like court rulings and stuff like that, is the real issue, the fact that you have had since the 94 assault ban, a whole bunch of gun companies make 10-round magazines. You could basically have some leftists come out of the woodwork now and do full Heller at this point, dude, and be like, oh, well, these states should have restrictions on them because these 10-round mags are common use and stuff like that here, or they're common use across this country because this is how many exist or whatever it is, dude, and just get a number of ones that have been manufactured and stuff like that, dude, which is just dumb because it's like, no, dude, like, fuck all those fucking, you know, different politicians and stuff like that, dude. Make the fucking mags whatever the fuck size you want and just straight up say, no, we're going to sell to these fucking FFLs in these states. We're going to sell to these fucking people in these states. Go eat shit, motherfuckers. And that's what it would be, dude. And you could easily oust these politicians very quickly. If nothing else, put the fucking money from the profits of the fucking firearm sales into actually getting people elected into office, for God's sakes, that are going to respect the Constitution. They're going to respect the oath of office and stuff like that. Not be a bunch of tyrant, oath-breaking fuckboys and fuck girls and stuff like that, dude. Because that's the biggest problem right now, dude. You know, you got fucking Moms Demand, Students Demand, all these other asshole fucking leftist anti-gun organizations out there bitching and moaning about like record profits and stuff like that, or like the NRA and stuff like that. And it's like, fund the fucking candidates, dude. Seriously, fund people like me, for God's sakes, for fucking governor's races and state rep races and stuff like that, dude. And I guarantee you, the second I get in there, you're gonna see full-blown constitutional legislation going through the fucking legislature immediately, dude. And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to not fund grassroots candidates when we're some of the best people out here right now that could actually get things done, is what it is, man. We just need financial backing, is what it is. Legitimately. That's pretty much why my original run for governor in 2020 never got the fucking ground, because I didn't have any fucking financial backing, is what it was, dude. I had no finances in the coffers at all, and I'm sitting there going up against the fucking career politician in Dewine who has millions of dollars to his fucking name at that point. You know, I had no chance in hell, honestly, in that race. And that's why I dipped out early enough, dude. So, anyway. But there was a couple things I want to talk about, though, specifically in this episode as well, besides that, where I obviously got that ran off the way right now. We're going to talk about other stuff in the state of Ohio right now, which comes to do with Second Amendment stuff, and then obviously just the crazy shit going on at the State House right now, which is kind of funny. And it kind of does, like I said earlier on, it does really prime me right now for a potential run and a potential victory in that run. When you have articles like this coming out here more recently. New GOP supermajority in Ohio House is so divided they can't get anything done, and work has ground to a halt at the State House. Quote, they have gerrymandered Democrats out of relevance, and the only people left to fight with is themselves. What obviously the Columbus Dispatch, which is fucking disgrace and leftist paper at this point, fails to talk about in that one is how you have, like I said earlier, you got three groups of people. You got Democrats, who are all a bunch of baby-killing anti-gun demons and oath-breaking motherfuckers who should be in prison right now in the state of Ohio. Allison Russo, Casey Weinstein, Paula Hicks Hudson, all of them, dude, at this point, you know, across the board. Everybody, Tabby Golonsky, all these fucking state reps, state senators, and stuff like that have pushed this shit for years now, is what it is. Dayton happened in 2019. They should all be in prison right now for deprivation of the law, is what it is. They should all be in Ohio's jail system for at least the next 10 years of their lives, if not longer, and never allowed to hold office ever again in this country. And the fact that they haven't been arrested yet is ridiculous, dude, when they're committing all kinds of crimes in this state house, dude. And just being a bunch of oath breakers to the actual Constitution is what it is, dude. They swore an oath to uphold is what it is. So, anywho, the entire point is, you got those Democrats, then you got this Rhino faction, which is people like Jason Stevens and Bill Seitz and stuff like that. People who claim to be pro 2A, but in reality, they'll sit there and water down every piece of pro-gun legislation out there, whether it be putting Terry stops into our constitutional carry legislation last year, whether it be fucking watering down stand your ground to just expand the castle doctrine to where you can actually be sued civilly if you take someone's life in self-defense when they're on your property trying to break into your home and stuff like that, dude. Or trying to kill you in public, whatever it is, dude. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. Like, there's a reason why it's called stand your ground. It's so you cannot be fucking lawsuited by some dumbass's fucking family because they were trying to fucking kill you and you had to take their life in response is what it was, dude, and defend yourself or defend others for that matter. Hell, it could be you being a third party in the situation and you see some fucking dude or some fucking chick beating somebody to death is what it is, and you fucking bang that person a few times and you save the other person's life is what it is, dude. And now you can be somebody lawsuited for that one underneath the fucking way it's currently written. It's why they need to redo stand your ground in this state correctly and have it be the Candace Keller and Ron Hood version from the 2019 General Assembly at that point. And then, of course, you got the third faction, which is where you got people like Derek Marin and stuff out right now, and my current state rep, Reggie Stolfus, and stuff like that are basically in this weird, like, sort of Republican mega kind of faction is what it is. I'm not even sure what the hell they call themselves at this point, if they call themselves anything, but I think they're just general Republican parties, what it is, dude, that actually kind of do respect the Second Amendment, but again, they're willing to fucking compromise on shit, whereas I'm not compromising on nothing, dude. You know, I've seen my entire fucking 38 years in existence on this in this fucking world right now, dude, on this country's soil, since I was a little baby. I have seen my rights in the Second Amendment be compromised away by every fucking generation of fucking scumbag piece of shit, and I'm fucking sick and tired of it, dude. I am so fucking fed up with these people, dude. Whether it be the douchebags and the NRA and stuff like that, whether it be the fucking assholes and all these other fucking organizations and stuff like that who have fucked us over for decades to come, dude. You know, whether it be going all the way back centuries to fucking the NFA of 34, whether it be the Gun Control Act of 68, whether it be the fucking Hughes Amendment of 86, a year after I was born, whether it be the 94 Sultan's ban when I was literally a fucking 9-year-old child, whether it be everything more recently, whether it be that fucking scumbag, sellout, most likely fucking child molester, Rob Portman, fucking being a yes vote on that bullshit legislation after Uvalde last year, dude. It's a fucking slap in the face to everybody in this fucking country, and a personal slap in the face to me as a gunner in this state, honestly, dude. It's a bunch of bullshit entirely, and I'm fucking sick and tired of it, dude. And then we got current state senator here, Michael Ruley, yesterday on Twitter, was talking about regulation leads to registration leads to confiscation leads to tyranny. That's why I don't give an inch on the Second Amendment. You had this nerd vigilance guy saying, "Thank you, Senator Ruley, for speaking the core deeply held conviction of the people in a humbled tone with a positive intent, and should resonate with all decent people, freedom or death. I have never been followed on Twitter by a man such as myself, and I am deeply humbled." Going back down, there's a bunch of leftist assholes in this one, but going to my actual response, I said, "Then introduce and pass immediately Second Amendment sanctuary legislation that ensures Ohioans will never be subject to alphabet agency rulings that aren't law. Actually fight federal government tyranny with states' rights. Put your money where your mouth is." And that's the truth of the matter, honestly, dude. Like, people need to pass Second Amendment preservation, is what it is, dude. If they actually give a fuck about anybody in the state, dude, that's what they'd be doing right now. Fuck the fucking ATF ruling, which, by the way, isn't law because it can't be actual written as law because fucking alphabet agencies don't have the legal right to pass law. The whole thing could easily be done away right now if Congress at a federal level will get off their fucking lazy fucking fat asses, lazy rhino and fucking Democrat asses at this point, and actually pass a joint resolution in both chambers, the House and Senate, and legitimately be like, no, this ruling is moot. It's null and void, dude, entirely. And it would be the end of that, dude. And you wouldn't have a bunch of people looking at fucking potentially having felony charges leveled against them at some point in the future for having a legally purchased AR pistol in this country with a brace in like 110 days or whatever the hell it is now. I think it's a little bit longer now. It's like 112 days, something like that. But yeah, it's like, it's ridiculous, dude, entirely. And I'm fucking sick of it, man. I really am. And actually, speaking of stuff being ground to a halt at the state house level, so as of 2 days ago now, about a day and a half actually, it was the 17th, you finally have stuff coming out as the first piece of legislation for the General Assembly this go around from the state Senate side, which is, let me see if I can find it here right now. Trying to make sure I'm grabbing up the right thing here. Yeah, you finally have the first 20 things from our state Senate right now, which, by the way, the fact that the first one was a Second Amendment Preservation Act is bullshit entirely, dude. But yeah, we got all these different bills right here for since the 17th here. We got, start from the top down, you got Senate Bill 10, incorporate changes in the Internal Revenue Code into Ohio law. Senate Bill 7, designate Power Boat Safety Month, increase boating safety grants. Senate Bill 12, regards veteran-owned business enterprise certification program. Senate Bill 20, incorporate changes to the Internal Revenue Code into Ohio law, which is basically just probably similar to SB 10 then. It's something else then as well. Then we got Senate Bill 4, modify the film and theater tax credit. Senate Bill 18, modify state agency data storage and notification law. Senate Bill 19, regards non-recourse civil litigation advanced business. I don't know what that's all about, but I'll read that later or something probably. Then we got 21, which is regards revenue for appeal with from an agency order, court charges. So I'm guessing that'd be not how to pay fees and stuff like that, or fines, or whatever. Senate Bill 3, create Ohio Community Revitalization Program. Senate Bill 14, expand veteran eligibility to teach without license. Senate Bill 9, revise medical marijuana law. Senate Bill 2 authorized subdivision to designate tax-exempt residential zones. Senate Bill 8 regards motor vehicle dealer liability for vehicle history report. Senate Bill 1 revise education law and department duties, rename the department. Senate Bill 13 allow distilling, serving, and shipping of homemade liquor without a permit. That's, again, so they're more, okay, so here's the thing. These dumb motherfuckers are more worried about making legal fucking moonshine in the state of Ohio, where you can actually give it to people without actually charging them for it, is what it is. Up to 200 fucking gallons per household, by the way. But yeah, they don't give a shit about Second Amendment, apparently, dude. At all. It's fucking bullshit entirely, dude. It's fucking disgusting is what it is. But anyway, going back to that, though. Then we got Senate Bill 22, let primary candidate fill some general election ballot vacancies. That should have been on the last set of ballots, honestly, dude. That should have been a thing a while ago, honestly, right now, dude. Then we got Senate Bill 11, which is actually a good one, enact the Parental Educational Freedom Act, which I guarantee is about parents' rights and stuff like that in schools, and probably banning of CRT and shit like that, which, by the way, should have already been passed last General Assembly, but these lazy motherfuckers were like, no, let's take fucking 6 months worth of breaks in a fucking 1 year legislative season, and then we wonder why we don't get shit passed, and we have to do a fucking 17-hour marathon, fucking dumbass set of legislation, all the way to like 3 a.m. the one day for the last day of the fucking General Assembly. It's like, goddamn, people. Quit being a bunch of lazy fucks and get back to work or don't get paid. How about that? Anyway, continuing on, we got Senate Bill 15, authorized military license plate program permit registration. Senate Bill 16 regards immunity from liability for donations of perishable food. The fact that's not already a law at this point, dude, is ridiculous. Because I'm guessing somebody sued over somebody donating perishable food is what it was, and they probably got sick off of it and tried to sue them. Then we got Senate Bill 6, regards certain public entities' governance policies. Senate Bill 5, established the Workforce Voucher Program. And Senate Bill 17, add capitalism to high school financial literacy standards. How about just have a decent fucking standard in schools, period, dude? You know, the fact that Senate Bill 17 isn't teach constitutional rights in schools as a mandatory course is exactly what's wrong with this country currently, man. And like I said, the fact that you have 20 fucking 2 of those right now, and not one of them has to do with the Second Amendment, is bullshit, dude. Seriously. How hard would it have been to make 22 the first one of 2A stuff, dude? Make fucking Senate Bill 22 the actual legislation that would become a Second Amendment Preservation Act, dude. You know? Do what that asshole Matt Dolan did last General Assembly and start using gun calibers, baby. I mean, they technically could do it the next go-around. They could do it with 44. You know, go with 44. You could also go with 38 for that matter as well, dude. You know, go with 38 special, go 44 Magnum. Do what you need to do, man. Will they? Probably not. It's probably a moot point at this point, and it's bullshit, though. It's absolute crap entirely, dude. And I'm sick and tired of it, honestly, dude. It's a bunch of people not want to do a damn thing to actually help us out as a country. And it's a bunch of shit entirely, dude. I'm actually going to answer this question. This question was asked, what are the real chances of NFA being repealed? There is, actually, I'm not going to lie, there is a good chance right now, because there's actually multiple lawsuits going on currently with that. There's a guy in, it's either Wyoming or Montana, I believe, that is currently suing because he was trying to make his own machine guns, and they tried to claim he couldn't do it or whatever. There's also a bunch of other ones when it comes to actual Americans with Disabilities Act and stuff like that as well, to do stuff like that. Because the thing as well, the entire reason that pistol braces were created to begin with was because of ADA and stuff like that. It was people like, one of our old friends, Wheeled and Well Armed down there in Georgia, who is legitimately wheelchair bound, and he needs them. He needs them for that reason, dude, because he has to wheel around his house with a fucking AR pistol strapped to his arm is what it is. And it's the only way he can actually get around with a gun in his house that has any capacity, that has any good capacity to it, and can actually be used effectively is what it is. Because he's got not only the wheelchair issues being, crippled, he's also, I believe, his arms don't have a lot of strength in them as well either. So, and it's the same thing with me, honestly, right now, dude. Like I feel like every day I'm losing strength in my arms right now due to psoriatic arthritis right now. And I could easily be in a situation in the next 3 to 5 years, honestly, where I would have to have a brace strapped to my arm to even fire a gun right now, dude. So I would definitely be a candidate myself for that kind of stuff. And as it comes with Ohio starting the states' rights thing, we wouldn't be the first one, because I believe it was 2 years ago now. I want to say 2021 when it happened. Missouri did a basically simple version of Second Amendment Preservation Act kind of thing there as a sanctuary state for Second Amendment stuff. The thing was, theirs actually got challenged in court. I don't know where that ruling has actually gone at this point, if it's actually been like sort of struck down or if it's been stayed or whatever it is at this point. But basically, it's gotten sued, and they're like, no, fuck you. We have the right to actually protect our citizens' freedoms, is what it is, dude. And that's how it should be anyway. Like, the fact that you didn't have multiple states after that, after Missouri doing it, that didn't do the same thing like constitutional carry, just start jumping on board and be like, yeah, fuck that. We're not letting federal government dictate states' rights at this point, dude. And that's the entire point. When you look back at even the Civil War in this country, dude, the original one in the 1800s there, you had a lot of people don't realize that entire fucking thing, yeah, some of it had to do with slavery, but not much. A lot of it had to do more with states' rights issues, is what it was, dude. You had the southern states that controlled pretty much all the fucking food supply at the time, and you had these northern states be like, well, we're going to tax your fucking food and your clothing and your cotton and everything else like that. And they're like, no, you're not, fuck you. And that's basically why they went to war for the most part. And then, of course, they happened to be, there was also, slave plantations and stuff like that, which became sort of an issue as well on that whole thing. And that became like, that was basically like one of about 20 issues of what it was. But then, of course, in history, because, history is written by the winners is what it is. History books written by winners specifically. It then became a whole thing of like, oh no, slavery is like the main and only reason that it happened is what it was, dude, which is not the case at all. It was a bunch of reasons, including states' rights issues. And that's why we're seeing it happen again now. And that's the problem people do. When you actually, completely rewrite history to fit your own narratives, it basically leads to a bad situation because you are leaving out like big chunks of actual historical facts is what it is. And it then leads to, things a couple hundred years later to where it happens again then. Or even not even a couple hundred years later, dude. It's like Nazi Germany all over again, dude. We're seeing that shit right now. I've talked about that many times on this channel, where you have, a lot of the books that Hitler and company burned back then in the late 30s, early 40s and stuff like that, related to medical journals on transgenderism and stuff like that. And because they burn all that stuff, we never had that knowledge early enough to be like, yeah, this is fucked up. You shouldn't do this to kids, man, obviously. And now it's why we're going through that slippery slope again and stuff like that. Actually, there was a guy I was going back and forth with there on Twitter a little bit ago here, because he was talking about just something like that, actually. And I called him out on that one. He said, where's that here now? He was talking about the slippery slope argument being a quote unquote known fallacy. And I said, tell that to people who are so uppity about gay marriage, and now it's about trans kids. Your argument is invalid and always will be, just like every other leftist hive mind talking point, which is the case, honestly. And it's the truth of that matter, dude. You have these people that want to sit there and be like, oh, but there's no such thing as a slippery slope. But yet then when you look back at where they were doing gay marriage, 20-ish years ago is what it was. And then it became a whole thing of like, oh, we just want gay marriage. Oh, we just want to do this thing. Now we just want to do this thing. Now we just want to do this thing. Now we want to fucking indoctrinate and gender confuse your children. Oh, now we want to turn your children into the other gender now. It's like, no, it's not a fucking fallacy. It's not a fucking anything that you want to claim it is, dude. It's an actual known fact at this point, because every single time throughout fucking history, it's always happened, dude. You got people that are claiming like, oh no, there's no slippery slope, and it turns into a fucking slippery slope immediately is what it is, dude. Now, granted, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm against gay marriage, because I'm not, honestly. I think everybody has the right to have fucking, technically equality is what it is, dude. That being said, is there a difference between, actual traditional marriage, a man and a woman, and, 2 men or 2 women or whatever the case be? Yes, there is. And that's what the left and all these, woke-ass motherfuckers never want to talk about is what it is, dude. Is why I will. And that's the thing. I don't care who the fuck... This is my thing right now, right? I don't care who you want to fuck, as long as you're both legal consenting adults is what it is, dude. And that's pretty much what it is. Period. End of story. I don't really want to see it, honestly. I'm not a huge fan of PDAs and stuff like that, dude. That's just me personally. Never been a fan of looking over and seeing 2 people making out with each other. I don't care what genders they are. If it's a man and a woman, if it's 2 men, if it's 2 women, whatever the case be. I'm just like, dude, if you're going to go with that hard and heavy, take it to the car or take it to a motel room or something else, dude, because it's obviously going to get harder than that is what it is, man. And, God forbid, like, there's a little kid coming in there and seeing that happen and having, like, all kinds of questions for their parents later is what it is, dude. And parents don't have answers to it is what it is, man. It's like, it's better to just not have it in public places is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, take it behind closed doors, seriously. But anyway, like, and there's a difference obviously between like a deep, passionate kiss and like two people like legitimately like making out and like groping each other in fucking public. Basically, is what I'm talking about there, dude. And it's the second one that I'm actually against. Is what it is, dude. So, anyways, but while we're here, actually, I'm going to read that particular piece of legislation though for the Parental Rights Freedom Act thing here, though, because I do want to see if this is what I think it is. Which it could be very much that case that this is exactly what I think it is right now. So let me go ahead and grab that up real quick. So we got, let's see here now. Let's see, Senate Bill 11 out of Ohio to amend sections, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different sections of the state constitution, and to repeal sections, these two are here, of the revised code to enact the Parental Educational Freedom Act to expand eligibility for educational choice scholarships, to create the operation of the pilot project scholarship program on July 1st, 2023, and to increase the income tax credit for homeschooling expenses. Okay, so it's not quite what I thought it was. So it's basically like the beginning of it is what it is, dude. It's basically a different version of what I thought it was going to be then. I mean, that's not bad. I wish there was more to it than that. Obviously, I wish it had stuff like ban CRT in schools, ban fucking 1619 project crap like that in schools, which we had last year or something, which should have passed. But yeah, reading the actual thing here. So you had O'Brien introduce this as the lead and apparently only sponsor of it, I guess. And let's see here now. Takes out some stuff, puts some other stuff. Let's see. It says, beginning with scholarships sought for the 2023-2024 school year, Department of Education shall cease awarding first-time scholarships under the section instead for that school year, and each year thereafter, a student shall be an eligible student for the purposes of the Educational Choice Scholarship Pilot Program in accordance with this new section of the revised code, and the department only shall award scholarships under that section. Okay, so it'd basically be, instead of them just awarding it by whatever, it's them being like, no, you have to actually meet this criteria to get it is what it is then. It says, in accordance with the division, except that the student shall be required to comply with divisions D1 of the section. All right, let's see here. I'm trying to find my freaking, there we go. Okay, that's all the stuff they're taking out there. Let's see if they put anything else in here. I'm sure they are. Just finding it is all. Okay, so we're down to page 6 right now. Okay, that's more stuff they're taking out. Okay, so this is just stuff about kids. Okay, so that's basically kids entering like school for the first time or whatever and stuff like that. Okay, it says beginning with a scholarship sought for that year. Department shall cease awarding. Okay, we talked about that already. It's basically the same thing over again. Okay, let's see here. 2023 school year. Beginning of school student. Purposes of educational. Okay, here we go. Beginning with the scholarship the year for that year, student is an eligible student for the purposes of educational choice scholarship under the section if the student is entering any of the grades kindergarten through 12. Okay, so that's cool. So it basically is by default on that one. So I'm guessing maybe it was something you had to do before that to be like basically put your name into a hat kind of thing is what it is. And now it's basically now you're just by default is what it is, which is actually better actually because it allows more kids to be, basically lotteried in there is what it would be then. So let's see, beginning with scholarships, Opportunity Department of Education, the age section. Okay, so basically the same shit over again. There we go. That's what it is. They're getting rid of the qualifying student thing. Means a student who is not entitled to attend school under section Okay, so they're basically getting rid of that crap. Is what it is. Yeah, it looks like a lot of the same thing over and over again, but it's also taking other stuff that would be you have to basically qualify or you're not qualified if you're like homeschooled, basically is what they're saying there, which I think there's what they're doing is they're actually putting homeschooling into this as well as like eligible students and stuff like that for future scholarships for like potentially college and stuff like that would be. So which is how it should be anyway, dude. But yeah, like I said, I'd like to see other legislation though, like something that actually protects people's actual rights is what it is, dude. So, gets rid of the fucking indoctrination in our school systems, the anti-white racism and stuff like that as well, because it's all a bunch of shit, honestly, dude. And everyone wants to sit here and say it doesn't exist is lying, is what it is, straight up, dude. They've clearly not been paying attention for the past 20 years, honestly, in this country. So, but let's see. Senate Bill 22, the primary one. This is allow a primary candidate to become a candidate in the general election by being appointed to fill a ballot vacancy under certain circumstances. I think this has to do with the fact that you had there was a candidate who apparently had won election in a primary or something like that. And it was like next day or whatever, they had basically dropped out of the race, or I think they already dropped out of the race before the primary happened or something like that. But they couldn't get their name off the ballot fast enough or something. And so they actually won, but they're like, no, we want to change that and have somebody else be like filling that position is what it is for the actual general election. And it became a whole thing. I think it was a Democrat was the one that was basically bitching and moaning about it and stuff like that. Because they're like, no, we want to put this person here instead because this is who should have been on the ballot anyway. And it's like, okay, well, whatever. And yeah, it's a bunch of shit entirely, dude, but who the fuck knows? But yeah, it's just it's interesting. It's interesting, dude. I'll tell you that much right now. So then of course we got going back to 2A stuff. We got current federal representative Matt Gaetz introduces act to abolish the ATF. About fucking time, dude. Is it going to go anywhere? Probably not. Mostly because you have the Senate being split down the middle right now because of, massive voter fraud and stuff like that. And obviously when you got cheater ass cunt Mala being the fucking tiebreaker there, she's never going to side with actually abolishing the ATF because they want to use that to weaponize against people is what it is, dude. So, yeah, it's sort of a moot point. The problem is that the Republican Party at a federal level never puts this kind of stuff through when it actually matters, when they actually have full control of chambers or chambers and presidency for that matter, like they did with Trump and whatnot. It's always a bunch of rhino backstabbing bullshit like that motherfucker Paul Ryan or that sack of shit Mitch McConnell and stuff like that, which are both a couple of Chi-Com fuckboys at this point, dude. So, anyway. Let's see. People start to cartoons and their movements. Jesus Christ, that is scary, dude. Then we got more about the parents sue Ohio school district over teachers and LGBTQ issues. That's a Cleveland.com article now. So they're basically picking up on that now. It's the same thing we talked about yesterday with Hillary schools and stuff like that. Hopefully there's more of them in the future, I guess. I'm guessing there will be. I'm hoping that it's going to happen very quickly. That's what it is then. Then, of course, you got this fucking nutter who is a legitimate state rep in Minnesota, Chandra Fist, or First, I heard his name, Feast, maybe, Feist, with a straight face, quote, not all students who menstruate are female. These people are exactly what we need 23 of the Constitution of honest qualifications that receive the power in this country, dude. Not even from holding office alone, but for running for office. Like, if you're running on a platform where you're just like, oh yeah, I'm pushing all this LGBTQ bullshit and anti-gun stuff and pro-abortion stuff, like, you're done, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here, lady. You're nuts. Like, honestly, and I say it before, I'll say it again, dude. The worst thing that happened under Trump was that there wasn't forced mental institutionalization in this country, because this kind of fucking nut right here belongs in a fucking mental institution, dude, for real. She is out of her goddamn mind, and there's no reason for her to even be sitting in any position of power, let alone having voting rights in this country, dude. You're clearly mentally ill, lady. And you're fucking with kids right now, dude, is what it is. You're fucking with kids, and you're on the fucking House floor of the state of Minnesota pushing to allow fucking tampons and shit in men's bathrooms, dude. What the hell kind of nut job shit is that, dude? It's fucking mentally ill shit, from the water supply to the food supply to everything else for that matter, dude. It is clown world, dude. Legitimately. It's fucking insane, dude. It's absolutely fucking psychotic is what it is. I swear to God, dude, there are days where I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, is everybody else taking crazy pills and I'm the only sane one left at this point? And then I started talking to other people and it's like, nah, bro, like, we are sane. They're just fucking insane is what it is. And unfortunately, they're the ones holding power in a lot of cases because they're being funded by the fucking most insane of the most insane, dude. So, and then speaking of insanity, this is something we talked about last night actually with the whole male to female what is it, vaginoplasty stuff where they have like 50% of them or whatever saying they have issues after getting their, you know, stuff tucked in and out is what it is. You got this fucking nut job trans woman. Male transgender activist claims fake man-made vaginas are superior to real ones. Seriously, bro, it is clown world. It is legitimately the downfall of society at this point. I mean, I could see if they were going on like a whole tirade about like, you know, pussy versus bussy, maybe like that would make sense to me, honestly. Obviously, I'd be, you know, pussy versus ass, basically, is what it is for those that don't know. Like, if they wanted to get into that kind of fucking thing, I'll have that debate with them all day, every day, man. That's what it is. Like, which is better, which is superior. But yeah, you know, obviously, I'm making jokes on that because it is a fucking joke, is what it is, dude. But yeah, it's just fucking stupid, is what it is, dude. Like, it's just people. They're a bunch of attention whores, is what it is, dude. They're basically attention-seeking whores, is what it is, dude. So, I'm actually watching this video right now. Talking about this guy's apparently talking about some part of Georgia where some white guy was giving some FedEx driver shit. I guess the FedEx driver was a black dude or something like that. The thing is, though, you know, they talk about that like racism or whatever you want to call it there, but yet they never talk about the opposite side of stuff, do you? Where you have fucking literal video after video, and there was actually last night I was on Twitter, and the word whites was trending, and it was I decided to click on it because I'm like, what exactly is it trending for? And yeah, it was like just video after video of just like black teens and stuff like that attacking white kids and shit like that, dude, on like trains and everything else like that. And it's like, and you wonder why fucking people are sick and tired of it, man. Because you're pushing this division. And that's the thing. You've seen this since Obama's administration, dude. You've seen it since then. You've seen this just racial division being pushed apart is what it is, dude. Because again, it goes back to their playbooks. It goes back to the Communist Manifesto. It goes back to the Rules for Radicals playbook of how do you take down a country internally? You divide it by racial lines at that point, dude. You divide it by tribalistic lines and stuff like that. And you make it hate itself to the point where you want people to have segregation again is what it is, dude. And there's been people calling for that even for that matter. It seems like actually when you look at that for the past, I don't know, 8-10 years now, which it hasn't been more like actually ever since 2020, it really hasn't been as much of a talking point anymore. But I know back in like 2015, 17, somewhere in there, it was quite a talking point then, beginning of Trump's administration, basically is when it was happening quite a bit, honestly. And it seemed to be a lot of minorities talking about resegregating and stuff like that, dude. So it's very interesting to me. And that's the problem, though. You have these people that'll sit there and be like, you know, we should do this or do that, or whatever the case be. And it's like, you realize you actually, as a U.S. citizen, have the legal right to revoke your own citizenship and leave this country, right? Like, you do realize that, correct? Maybe not. Because if you do, or if you don't, like, you do now, you should actually. And that's the thing. Like, pack your stuff, revoke your citizenship, go to another country, get citizenship there, and have fun, baby. But no, nobody wants to do that because they understand that America is the greatest country on earth. We have the most freedoms of everybody because of our constitutional right to keep and bear arms, because of our First Amendment right to free speech, freedom of the press, and everything else like that, freedom of religion, all that stuff like that. But yet they want to sit there and try to attack them. They want to sit there and try to give government more power over the people. They want to sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm protected by men with guns, so I don't need guns myself. And it's like, that is like some of the dumbest mentality I've seen in the past like decade of my life, honestly, dude. Is people that are like, oh, government's going to protect me. I should just give up my freedoms to the government because they can protect me with their guns. No, they're not. Every fucking time period of history, dude, has led to democide, death by government, because of gun regulations, because of gun control, because of gun restrictions and everything else like that. Every single time, every single go around that's led to that shit, dude. And actually going back to a couple other things I want to talk, speaking of gun control here, I want to talk about this particular reply that I sent back to this person. This was on the Michael Ruley Twitter replies earlier here. This is me trolling the anti-gunners here. This person said, just show us where in the Second Amendment it says, you can't have a gun registry, gun control. And then I specifically put parts of the Second Amendment in there. I said, quote unquote, being necessary to the security of a free state shall not be infringed. That clear enough for you? Because that's the truth, man, at the end of the day. It's like, bro, like, it's not that hard to figure out. It's just like the same people that want to sit there and talk about fucking, rights to kill kids in the womb and stuff like that. And it's like, when you specifically actually read the Constitution and it talks about life, liberty, property, life is the first thing for a reason. It's because you have a right to live. You have a right to life. Because if you don't have a life, you don't have the ability to have liberty or property. And that's why we need to protect the most innocent and stuff like that. That's why I am pro-life from conception to natural death, period, dude. Obviously, there are exceptions for stuff like rape and incest, but that's very rare circumstances. In a lot of cases, it's like less than 1% of the fucking thing actually happens there, dude. Or maybe it's like less than 2% at this point. There's a bunch of different studies that have come out in the past like few years is what it is, and it's like various number of positionings and stuff like that. So it's hard to know exactly which it is at this time in history is what it is, man. But it's very low is what it is still. It happens very infrequently. It's not a bunch of dudes going around raping chicks all the time, dude, and stuff like that. It's very, very minor circumstances. The same thing with incest is even more minor than that, dude. Yeah, it happens, but it doesn't happen at the rates they think it does, dude. So anyway, another one I want to talk about here. You had this dude. He was talking about voter IDs here because people are bitching and moaning about the new voter ID laws here in Ohio. He said, apply this logic to voter IDs. And I responded back to him. I said, obviously, you've never bought a gun before, which requires IDs for purchase at every FFL in the United States. And also, if you're doing private sales, most people ain't going to sell you a gun unless you have a fucking ID, dude, in a private sale. So there is that. But, I sure as hell wouldn't, honestly. Mostly because I'd be like, yeah, I want your fucking ID to have your actual address on it in case something ever happens. Because it's like, the second they come to my house banging on my door about a gun being used that I previously owned in a crime, I'm going to be like, I sold it to this motherfucker in a private sale. Here's the fucking bill of sale with their address and everything on it, dude. Period. And that's protect my own ass is what it is. So, anywho. But yeah, there's not much more to talk about than that right now. I got a couple things I want to do. I'm probably going to go back to sleep here in a little bit. Got some stuff I got to do with the game that I play at some point here today. I'm not sure exactly when we're supposed to be attacking this current refinery thing, but it's going to be a pain in the ass. We're going to have everybody on deck to do it to make sure it happens. I know for a fact that at least one of my formations and one of my different clans can actually do it there because I'm in two different clans in that coalition under different accounts is what it is. I know the first one can do it properly, but I don't think any of the other ones can do it without like rallies and shit. So I'm trying to get those to the point where they don't have to rally is what it is. I don't think it's going to happen before today is what it is. So anyway, we got good old Jim Jordan talking about record inflation, retail sales down, grocery prices up, plane tickets up, layoffs coming, Joe Biden's America, everybody. I love Jim Jordan. He really should be. I can't believe that he cucked out the way he did, man, for fucking speaker. Fuck Kevin McCarthy, dude. Seriously. You should be speaker, Jim Jordan. Unless you're going to be the guy that leads to Biden and Kamala's fucking immediate removal from office at this point, dude. In that committee that you're chairing now and stuff like that, bro. Unless you're going to be that fucking guy that takes him down, you should be the speaker of the house right now, dude. Seriously. And I am very disappointed with you not, basically wanting to be the speaker. Because that's the whole point, man. The people that don't want the position are the people who should have the position. Jim Jordan was the right man for that fucking position, dude. And if not him, then definitely Byron Donalds from Florida there is what it is. So, really, anybody McCarthy right now. I'm still on that train, man. And I am glad it took so long for them to pick McCarthy then finally, because it was, it allowed for all this other stuff to go on there. And it basically allowed for all the shit to be talked about with all the fuckery going on in our government right now, dude. And how you have basically 5 people on the House floor debating legislation at a given time instead of fucking 435 members at a given time, dude, which is how it needs to be, honestly, at this point in history. It's like, you're elected to represent the people in fucking Washington, D.C. Go do your fucking job and pass legislation there. If you're not going to do that, then don't be in office, is what it is. Which, honestly, I've talked about that before. I could get into that whole thing for the next hour or so and talk about how, we should basically be having people in their districts from Monday to Friday and have them go fly it on Saturday and do stuff like Saturday, Sunday in federal government and pass stuff on the weekends is what it is, man. But, they're never going to do that, obviously, unless we change the fucking rules on them is what it would be then. So, let's see. Andy knows 7 hours ago, far-left groups in Antifa calling for deadly reciprocal violence against police after their comrade was shot dead at the Atlanta Autonomous Zone after first shooting and severely injuring Georgia state troopers. Yeah, Treehouse Antifa calls for Night of Rage, January 20th. So, fucking ridiculous, dude. These people are fucking clowns, man, for real. For those who don't know about that, I talked about that here a couple times for that Treehouse Antifa thing there. Apparently there was what they called a quote-unquote like cop town or something. And what's interesting about it was you had basically the Atlanta, Georgia area, the surrounding forest of it, was zoned back in like 2001, 2002, someplace in there. It was like either right before 9/11 or right after 9/11. So it's something that's been happening for like 20 years now is what it is. And again, shows you how slow government actually works is what it is then to implement shit. So you had I think it was the council back then is what it was, like the council and the mayor and stuff like that, were like, okay, we're going to zone this area for like a future development is what it is. And then it's basically now, it was supposed to start in like 2019, 2020, but of course, COVID lockdowns, everything happened and they delayed it from there is what it was. So what they were doing was they were breaking ground on this area, and what they were going to create was it was basically a facility. It was like a new training ground for like state police and stuff like that. And then there was also going to be like some barracks there or something, if I'm not mistaken, for like cadets that could stay on the barracks is what it was. So they didn't have to go back and forth to their houses every day is what it would be then. And especially if they lived out of state and stuff like that, and they were moving into state or whatever, they could basically just train at the facility at the time or whatever and just stay at the facility then. And then they would basically from there be able to then go, house hunting or apartment shopping, whatever it would be then, and find a place to live then. And of course, the Antifa, being the, leftist fucking terrorist organization that it is, took offense with it and was like, oh no, you're not going to chop down these trees. And they made some fucking legitimate fucking homeless encampment in the fucking woods there for like the past year or so, I guess, to the point where there's been skirmishes that mainstream never talked about at all. Nobody really knew what was happening, honestly. I didn't even know what was happening until Andy Know and people broke it in the last like couple of months here is what it was at the end of the year of 2022 there. And there was much people arrested down there in Georgia is what it was for terrorist shit, dude, finally. And I'm just like, good. Like, it should have happened like 8 months before that is what it was, dude. Like, the fact that that went on for longer than the real Chaz did, they're in, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone and stuff like that, dude. It's just like, Jesus Christ, man. But then again, it makes sense because, in a lot of cases with the actual, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone there, Capitol Hill occupied protest, or whatever I want to call it, to make it the CHOP then. You basically had them take over an entire section of Seattle, Washington is what it was, dude. The fact that they weren't arrested, specifically people like Raz Simone, who was the leadership of the Chaz at the time for the second dude who was the fake-ass warlord and stuff like that, SoundCloud rapper dude. The fact that he and other people in that whole, upper structure and stuff like that weren't charged with, like, legitimate fucking hostage-taking and a whole bunch of fucking false imprisonment of, like, tens of people that were living there and stuff like that, like dozens of folks or whatever it was, like dozens to hundreds of people that were living in that area for the apartment buildings and stuff like that, that had to tried to leave their apartments and were basically attacked and harassed every day that they were trying to get out of there, dude, is ridiculous. Like, they should have been charged with every single one of these people's false imprisonment because they were basically stopping them from leaving their actual homes and taking over their actual home area is what it was, dude. So, but I think that's the big difference is that was like a major city, whereas the people that these Atlanta Chaz people were doing stuff, it was basically in the forest where the only thing they were doing was basically destroying equipment and stuff like that for the last year or so. And, you know, causing shit with cops and stuff like that. And it wasn't until actually the cops then eventually, you know, were like, hey, we're about to move them out of here, that they started like firing upon the police and stuff like that and doing all kinds of crazy shit, which there's more to it than that, obviously, because you actually had them doing like firebombs at police and stuff like that and whatnot before all that. And Antifa 100% incited everything is what it was, dude. Like, cops were just doing their jobs to be like, no, we're taking you all out of here. Fuck all y'all. Get the hell out of here kind of thing. And move along from there is what it is. Okay, that's obviously something we can't show, so moving on from there. Sorry, I'm glad I wasn't actually screen sharing there. But yeah, it was something that people were calling art that's not art at all. That'd be the case. So, but going back to something I was talking about the other day, actually, with the whole thing in Maryland and the you know, BLM and then trans pride flag thing there. Another school, elementary school in Connecticut, featuring BLM flag, progress pride flag, and defund the police signs. This shit. Okay, so that's not. Okay, so that is actually the progress flag. Okay, that makes more sense then. Progress pride is what that's called, apparently. Okay, so that's the one that's being put in all these school systems and stuff like that. I didn't realize that one. I know it was like a gay pride, and there was also like a trans pride, like mixed flag. I didn't realize it was called something else actually. So apparently it's called the Progress Pride flag, which is even stupider name actually on that one, dude. But yeah, like this is the indoctrination I'm talking about with schools, dude. It's a bunch of shit, dude. Like elementary schools, for God's sakes, dude. And you wonder why fucking kids are so fucked in the head anymore, dude. Seriously, how is this not separation of church and state? Because you have this shit being the left's religion at this point, dude. That's what parents need to sue them on, honestly, dude. It's just separation of church and state at this point. Take up the Supreme Court that way is what it is, dude, and be like, yes, this fucking leftist cult, this is their fucking religion, dude, is what it is. Their religion is BLM flags and fucking trans and pride flags and all this other stuff like that, dude. The progress pride flag crap and everything like that, where they're trying to indoctrinate children into this movement. And I guarantee it would be struck down real fucking quick based on the fact that it would be, again, separation of church and state. And they would just ban that shit from these fucking school systems, what it is, dude, and start banning the teachers outright is what it is, dude. Wow. Actually, that should tell you something. I'm going to go down the comment section of this for a minute now, dude, because this should tell you something right here, man. This person in the comments of Lives of TikTok here who said, I'm non-binary, yet even I find this too political. We shouldn't be teaching divisive political ideology and especially victimhood culture to our kids. I still believe that Black Lives Matter, just like everybody else's, just like everybody else, everyone's life matters, apparently is what they're saying. And that love is love, just without the toxic politics. Again, that, like this person right here, like I could get into that, like we could find common ground on that stuff about it being devices and stuff like that. I could then talk to him about the whole love is love shit, dude, because that is the kind of shit I've been talking about for a while, dude. The whole groomer mentality, the whole pedophile enabler stuff like that, dude. Because that's what fucking pedophiles talk about, dude. Is it's like, oh, love is love, no matter the age kind of crap is what it is, dude. I think that's like the actual full like terminology they usually use is what it is. But then it basically got shortened to just love is love then. And it's like, no, bro. Like, it is not okay to want to fuck kids. Ever. So, period. If you want to do pedophile shit, your ass needs to be in a fucking prison for the rest of your life at minimum, is what it is, man, for real. Oh, apparently there was a video that came out too here about Washington citizens speak out on gun control. Yeah, that happened, I believe it was Tuesday at the State House there. I don't think anybody is listening, unfortunately, which sucks, but, you know, it is what it is here. I'm actually going to go ahead and I'll drop that link in the description here if anybody wants to go check that out. It's a YouTube video. It's the Washington Gun Law YouTube channel, where it was Washington citizens speak out on gun control. Was anybody listening? Washington citizen 2023 legislative season in the Washington State House there. So actually, I'll just go ahead and show a little still of it here if anybody's interested. Hope our brothers out there in Washington, even though I've had issues with some of them over there, which again, you know, 1 or 2 does not make the entire state, but, you know, I will never speak to some of those people again, but yeah, this is what it is right here, is this thing. This is Washington gun law. President William Kirk recaps Tuesday's live testimony over 4 House bills that will each significantly infringe upon Second Amendment rights of the citizens of Washington state. And it looks like it's about a half hour or so from what the guy was talking about there. So I'll go ahead and watch that later myself, but I'm not going to do it live right now because I got other shit I got to do. And I'm getting kind of tired, actually. So, but yeah, I'm going to give it a shout out to that just because it's a whole thing, man. And then you have 8 hours ago from Andy No, breaking far left extremists shut down the road in the Little Five Points neighborhood of Atlanta to stage a protest over their comrade who was shot dead after shooting at a Georgia state trooper at their autonomous zone. Okay, so this just happened, I guess. I didn't realize that one, dude. That makes more sense than why they would do the Night of Rage really quick. Here's what it is then. Because it's just now happening is what it is. Yeah. Seriously. These people are already committing misdemeanor crimes right here, dude, because you're blocking traffic. You're legitimately impeding the flow of traffic, dude, which is a misdemeanor in every single state in this country, if not a felony in some states actually now, because of 2020 rioting and shit like that, dude. And of course, only pussies hide their fucking faces at these events because they don't want to be identified and be arrested later and actually have their names and everything else like that put out there for public information is what it is, man. But yet they'll go out there and they'll start fucking filming you is what it is and try to name and shame you as a, you know, right-wing conservative or any kind of other thing like that, even though you might be like middle of the road person or just like some, you know, third party person like libertarian and stuff like that is what it is, man, or libertarian for that matter, like I am. And, you know, basically talk shit about you and try to basically get you killed is what it is. Even though you did nothing wrong except speak out against their bullshit is what it is, dude. So, yeah, just absolutely ridiculous, dude. Then you got old Eric Swallowswell kicked off of his committee assignment by McCarthy, goes on The View, blasts Republicans, Marjorie Taylor Greene, George Santos says crime is running rampant in many cities, but Republicans are chasing shadows. Says the guy who literally fucked Chinese spies, by the way, specifically Christine Fang, aka Fang Fang, is who Sowell was banging. Seriously, the fact that this little fucking douchebag cunt is still a sitting congressman is absolutely ridiculous entirely, dude. The fact that Eric Sowell has not been brought up and given the death penalty for high treason for fucking Chinese spies is everything wrong with the country in 2023 right now, dude. Seriously. This guy should have already been given the damn death penalty for high treason. The fact that he hasn't been is ridiculous. Dude. The fact that he's still a sitting congressman is fucking ridiculous entirely, dude. This is the American Democrat Party in a nutshell right here, dude. People who go around literally committing treason and are removed from office and try with a damn death penalty. It's ridiculous, dude. You should be getting a federal death penalty right now. Seriously. Let's see. Then we got Lives of TikTok exposing some racist motherfuckers in school boards now. I'm sure they're all lefty people too as well. Yeah, we got Lives of TikTok school board member of JPS Vikings has a history of making racist comments. She says whiteness is evil and causes trauma, calls white people stupid, dangerous, and difficult to be near. This person is responsible for the education of thousands of children, dude. And this is the kind of shit I'm talking about, dude. This kind of anti-white racist fucking black supremacist cunt right here, dude, has absolutely no business holding position powers in the country, dude. These are the same kind of fucking people I've been dealing with in the Ohio State House as the Democrats here for at least the past fucking 7 years now that have been pushing all kinds of bullshit or always no votes on pro-gun legislation because they're always trying to push fucking racial division on it and stuff like that. Because the only fucking card they have is a race card, dude. Because they're a bunch of fucking racists is what it is, dude. Like, seriously, imagine this Kesha woman was a white chick, and instead of saying these white women are the stupidest, you know, insert black there, or insert Asian there, or insert fucking, you know, Latino there, or something like that, dude. She's a fucking racist by another name, dude. She needs to be fucking thrown out of office at this point entirely, bro. It's ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. And this is the kind of anti-white racist shit I'm talking about this entire time, man. It's just a bunch of asshole behavior like that from these fucking douchebags. You think they get away with it because, oh, it's okay to attack white people. No, it's not, dude. Fuck you. You're still a racist piece of shit. And it's not reverse racism either, dude. Reverse racism would be fucking banging the other race or marrying the race or something like that. It's just another version of racism is what it is. So, anyways. Then you got that fucking ass clown Matt Dolan talking about, oh, I'm running for office on these fucking stupid things. Doesn't mention how he's a giant fucking anti-gun rhino piece of shit either. So this goes out to anybody in the state of Ohio right now, by the way. If you are in the state of Ohio and have the money, if you are a JD Vance type here, dude, please, for God's sakes, run against Dolan in the primaries and primary that motherfucker out and then beat Sherrod Brown in the general election in 2024. The last thing Ohio needs is a fucking asshole anti-gun fuckboy named Matt Dolan as nothing more than the flip side Sherrod Brown is what it is, dude. It's two fucking sides of the same coin, bro, seriously. The only difference is who is more anti-gun, who is more anti-life. You know, it's the devil you know versus the devil you actually know at a state level and want the fuck gone. Now, honestly, I've said it before, dude. The fact that Matt Dolan, who has legitimately introduced legislation in the state house as a state senator, has not been removed from office based on the fact that he introduced legislation that directly benefited his family, who own the Cleveland Indians / Guardians, because they made that stupid name change now. The fact this douchebag is still a sitting state senator after introducing gun control crap at the end of the legislative season last year, when I specifically called up every person from that fucking community and I was like, remove this motherfucker from office, dude, seriously. Throw him the fuck out of the General Assembly right now. Fuck that shit, dude. Toss this son of a bitch out, man, seriously. I'm so fucking sick of it, dude. So fucking sick of this motherfucker. And the worst problem is, you know, he's pushing out all these bullshit fucking talking points like historic tax cuts, mental health support. Doesn't actually mention the mental health support stuff. Has to do with gun control, by the way. Expand school choice, balanced budgets, funding police. That's people are going to believe with this asshole, dude. But it's all a bunch of lies, dude. The mental health shit is exactly what I said. It's to basically push gun control bullshit and try to take your rights away into red flag garbage is what it is, dude. Look into SB 357 from the 2021-2022 Ohio General Assembly, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about right now, dude. In fact, fuck it, I'm looking at myself right now. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here, man. This is what this fucking asshole did last General Assembly in the state of Ohio. Legiscan.com here real quick. Make sure I'm screen sharing this. Okay. So this is 2023-2024 legislative season. I'm going to type in a bill number, and it'll probably pop up the next one for last General Assembly, which is what it needs to do anyway. Okay, let's see. There we go. 2021 season. State Senator Matt Dolan, sole sponsor, amends a bunch of the revised code to provide for assurance of safety protection orders, which are nothing more than red flag laws, to address leads and NICS inclusion of protection orders, to provide for sellers protection certificates under a new background check mechanism. So basically forcing you to do actual private seller certificates for private sales is what it is. And if you don't do that kind of stuff, you can potentially catch misdemeanors or felonies. Modify procedures and criminal offenses related to firearms transfers, which again is basically fucking us over out of private sales. Modify laws regarding certain provisions related to mental health treatment, which is to make people all mentally ill and specifically create a TAPS Act at a state level. Here's what that is. To express the intent of General Assembly to appropriate specific sums of federal funding under the American Rescue Plan Act 2021 and be used regarding this is what the big thing is here, behavioral health workforce, which is a TAPS Act stuff, by the way, and crisis infrastructure expansion. And they talked about it, and it was in committee that Dolan chaired. That's how he was able to get it through, honestly. He was able to put it through his fucking finance committee, which how the hell is gun control going through a finance committee to do it all? Oh yeah, that's right, because you put a bunch of financial bullshit onto it, you fucking douchebag rhino piece of shit. And by the way, I want to point something out on that one. Matt Dolan in 2014, before he became a state senator, tried to run as a Democrat in our state house and failed fucking miserably in that district that was already going red then in Cleveland area, in the outskirts of Cleveland area there. And then came back 2 years later, and because Trump was running as president, Dolan got in as a fucking down ticket Republican is what it was, dude. And then people were so fucking stupid that in the 2020 election cycle, when he's up for re-election, were like, let me vote down ticket Republican again. This is why you do not vote down ticket Republican. This is why you don't vote down ticket anything in any kind of election cycle, dude. It's why you have to look into who is on the fucking ballot and who is the best person for that position of power. And it's not some fucking asshole, anti-gun fucking Democrat who is a fucking rhino sack of shit, who is not a Republican, who is a legitimate fucking backstabbing douchebag motherfucker, billionaire, who's a fucking part of a billionaire fucking family that owns a goddamn baseball team in this fucking state. That alone should disqualify Dolan from the running, dude. Period. The fact that his family is a bunch of fucking billionaires. And that's the whole entire thing. He's self-funding his fucking campaign for the U.S. Senate, dude, because he has a fuck ton of money is what it is, man. From the family fucking fortune is what it is. And thank God people like myself, others in the network, people at Ohio Gunners, etc., help defeat that bullshit bill in fucking committee, because we sat there. I sat here myself, fucking 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, even 4 o'clock in the morning, like I'm right now here, man. Sat here on the fucking phone, calling up state reps, calling up people in the finance committee, then being like, please make sure to vote this the fuck down. And I was straight up telling them, I was like, if you don't want to be part of a future lawsuit, dude, you'll do what needs to be done and vote the shit down, honestly, dude. So, yeah, it's a bunch of shit, dude. I'm so fucking sick and tired of this son of a bitch, dude. And that's why I fucking can't stand these people, dude. This is why we need automatic disqualifications in the 20th Amendment of the Constitution right now, dude. People like Dolan. He should be disqualified from even running for office right now, dude. Fuck him and fuck the horse he rode on, dude. Seriously. Huh. Sorry, I was watching this video of some guy talking about a stab-proof vest, and needless to say, it wasn't stab-proof. I'll leave it at that, man. So, anyway. Seems like something that you would, I don't know, test out before you go on live TV with that kind of shit, dude, and do a demonstration. That's just me personally. But, yeah. Anyway. People were talking about Klaus Schwab at the World Economic Forum there. Apparently, I guess there's a bunch of prostitution happening there as well now. So, actually, before we leave off this, since we're talking about gun stuff anyway, we're going to leave this off at a good position right now, about an hour and 15 minutes in almost, which is multiple lawsuits now filed against Illinois assault weapons ban. Today, FPC announced the filing of litigation challenging Illinois' recently enacted assault weapons ban and large capacity magazine ban. Contents and FPC's Harrell versus Ruel, along with other case documents, can be viewed at FPC Law. So, let's see what it says here. So, prohibiting practicer arms by name or others based on superficial features and setting arbitrary limits on number of bullets with which peaceable people have to defend themselves is not only unconstitutional but immoral, because such restrictions have no basis in the history and tradition of firearms regulation in the country. We are confident these insidious bans will be struck down. That was Bill Sack, the director of legal operations at FPC. So here's my problem with that whole thing, though, right? Like they're doing it they're going up to the state level version. Why not go up to the Chicago one too, man? I mean, Chicago's had their own AWB for a while. They're just city level, dude. Like, why not go up to the cities as well on that one, dude? For real. You know, overturn the one at the city level, dude, since all the criminals have them anyway, dude. Like, allow armed citizens to have rifles and shit in the city of Chicago is what it is, man. So, then there's a big letter here from FPC. Yeah, it says challenging newly enacted gun control laws. Can't really read the rest of it after that because it's all real small text, and I don't feel like downloading it and pulling it up, though. So, but yeah, needless to say, that's good. That's good. It's nice to see them finally having something there to, get the ball rolling there, and hopefully it'll be overturned very quickly is what it is, but who knows. Speaking of auto DQs from office again, you had multiple sitting U.S. senators, including fucking scumbag piece of shit Christine Sinema, Sitting in a fur, bragging about not getting rid of the filibuster with Democrats like these. Yeah, at the World Economic Forum there. Fucking ridiculous, dude. And then wanted to bitch about how, oh, two-party system is broken, yet you're still a fucking Democrat, lady. You may not be under the party by name. You're just another Bernie Sanders that claims to be independent. That's what it is. Fuck you, ho. Honestly, I'm going to say it right now. To the people of West Virginia, stop allowing the fucking Mountain Party to split the damn vote in 2024 and finally oust that old fucking cunt, Joe Manchin, from office, dude, because that's the problem right now. For the past like 12 to 16 years or so, however long it's been now, you've had that asshole get in for at least 2 more terms in the U.S. Senate because you've had this third party known as the Mountain Party continue to split the fucking vote, siphon off just enough from the Republican voter base to keep allowing Manchin's bitch ass to get in by a couple 100,000 votes. It's like, no, all work together as one fucking party and oust this son of a bitch once and for all, dude, period. Because he's also pushing fucking amnesty just like that bitch Cinema is, dude. And on that same vein of things, knock Cinema's ass out in 2024 too, man. Or where the hell she's up for election now. Fucking ridiculous, dude. People should already be out of office at this point. That being said, I'm not sure if we're going to make it that far to 2026 or not, dude. That's why I'm bracing every day in case something does happen right now. Not a huge fan of Elon Musk, by the way. I want to point that one out. I think that guy's definitely a fucking psyop at this point. But you got Musk saying the WEF, or World Economic Forum, is increasingly becoming an unelected world government that the people never ask for and don't want. Very true. Very, very true. That's the thing. I'll give the guy the just dues. Like, he'll say stuff like that, and it'll be true, honestly. Anybody can say that stuff, honestly. They don't got to be a billionaire fucking, dude is what it is. So, anyway, and then we also got, speaking of other elected officials at fucking Davos / World Economic Forum there, you got current Michigan demon witch cunt herself, old Gretchen the Stretchin' Whitmer. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer out at World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland this week. She recently spoke on a panel titled, quote, Return of Manufacturing. What a joke. Fucking disgusting, dude. Like, here's my thing right now, right? How is it that these people are allowed to leave the United States? By the way, I'd like to point something out right now. This bitch is a sitting governor, dude. The fact that she's not in the state of Michigan currently doing her fucking job means she shouldn't have it. The fact that you now have Garland Gilchrist as their fucking lieutenant governor, who is now de facto fucking governor in Michigan because Whitmer's off fucking jet setting in another country, is absolutely bullshit, dude, entirely. The only time a lieutenant governor should become governor for any reason is because the actual governor is under some kind of medical procedure or something like that, like a colonoscopy or something else, so they have to put under actual anesthesia and stuff like that to have it done. Other than that, they shouldn't be a governor at all, dude. And it's the same thing with presidencies. Unless a president has to go under actual anesthesia for some kind of emergency surgery or something like that, dude, or some kind of scheduled surgery or whatever it is, the vice president shouldn't be president for any amount of time is what it is. And my biggest problem with Whitmer there entirely, dude, is, again, not only her, not only Cinema, not only Manchin, all of them, dude. That Maria fucking Salazar I talked about the other day, who was talking about mass immigration and amnesty and stuff like that, dude. The fact that we don't have armed military waiting for these fucking people's planes to land back in America and arrest them on the fucking spot for high treason for going to a fucking literal globalist convention and speaking with a bunch of unelected fucking aristocrats and stuff like that, dude, behind closed doors and in person, everything else like that, dude, is absolute bullshit entirely. This shit legitimately breaks the fucking Logan Act, dude, because you are meeting both in person and sorry, internet dipped again on me. That's weird that it gave me 2 ones there. Yeah, I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Anyway, am I back again? Yay? Nay? Anyway, I'm gonna keep talking for 2 more minutes then. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is you have these elected officials who are not being arrested for high treason when they are coming back from these kind of events, dude, because you're obviously committing high treason by even going to these events for that matter. And the fact that you are a sitting governor, a sitting senator, a sitting state rep, whatever it is, sitting federal rep, doesn't matter, honestly, dude. Sitting, whatever the case be, president, whatever it is, dude. The fact that they're not being booted out of office immediately and charged with crimes is exactly what's wrong with our country currently, dude. The fact that we're letting them off the hook with this kind of shit is bullshit entirely. So, let's see. We got 19 hours ago. Our friends at Ohio gun owners talking about Ohio needs a Second Amendment Preservation Act, a way to stop jackbooted thugs at the ATF from enforcing their fiat trash rules is by stripping them of their ability to coerce Ohio law enforcement agencies into enforcing this garbage. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, very much so. And that's what things happen right now, dude. Seriously. Let's see. Then we got reporter Natalie Fahmy saying, tonight I sat down with State Senator Matt Dolan, who just launched his campaign for U.S. Senate. I have the experience. I've got things done in Columbus. I want to do the same for Washington, claimed dickhead Dolan, anti-gun fuckboy. I want to fight this dude so bad. I do. I really do, man. I just want to fight his ass at this point. I know he never agreed to it, though, and that's the problem. We don't have mutual combat in the state either, so it's a whole thing. But it really should be a thing of like, hey, one time, dude, I beat you. You resign from the state senate, and I take your senate seat. Is what it is. That would be interesting, dude. If these people actually had to fight for their fucking positions of power. Of course, no one would ever agree to it, is what it is, because they're all a bunch of pussies. Is what it is, man. So. That's funny. There was that chick talking about her or a gaming PC, and the people overwhelmingly voted for the gaming PC over her. And she's like, since you all pick me over a PS5 so overwhelmingly, I had to make it harder. And yeah, apparently they voted the gaming PC over her by like a 3-1 margin. That's funny. And that's what you get. That's what you get. You want to be influencer. Fucking fuck these people, dude. Seriously. Jesus Christ. I completely forgot that LA actually elected fucking Karen Bass as mayor, dude. Literal fucking communist who ran around with a communist manifesto, was part of the Weather Underground in her early teen years in like the 1970s, is now the fucking mayor of LA, dude. Karen Bass, 11 hours ago. We need to lock arms throughout this country if we want to fully address the crises we are facing. That's why I'm in Washington, D.C. at the U.S. Mayor's Conference to meet with mayors and members of the Biden administration to ensure that we all work together. How about address the fucking crime in your city, you dumb bitch? You helped create by fucking pushing a bunch of gun control, you dumb old whore. But of course, you're never going to actually fucking admit that because you're a piece of shit, Karen Bass. You know, honestly, there's one thing I will agree with Biden on. It was the one thing he said from the 1980s where he was talking about big shots. And that's about it. And I'll leave it at that, man. And that's the problem right now, dude. Is you got all these fucking people that want to act like they're all big shots and stuff like that when they're a bunch of assholes and they're fucking destroying our country from the inside out, dude. It's always Democrats too, by the way. Always fucking Democrats, dude. Always lifelong career politicians that want to sit here and fuck with our country is what it is, man. Because they don't want to do actual real work. They want to sit there in positions of power, lording over the rest of us as the tyrant fucks that they are is what it is, dude. And I'm sick and tired of them. I think everybody else is too, for that matter. You know, it's reasons like this why I created the network, to get rid of people like this from power, dude. The goddamn commies, the goddamn Democrats, the goddamn rhinos. And call them the fuck out is what it is, dude. Unfortunately not. Dolan is the Cleveland area. I forget exactly how the maps work out, but he's like in the Cleveland area is what it is, and I'm down here in like Stark County area. If I'd been able to get a campaign off the ground last year, I could have actually ousted Kirk Shearing for the the Ohio Senate seat there, state race for, I forget what district it is that I'm in right now. Unfortunately, I was so censored at that time by multiple platforms that I was never able to get a campaign off the ground properly. So it's the only reason I'm not a state rep right now, actually. But anyway. Let's see what else we got here. Anything we're talking about? Oh, this is actually what we're talking about, because it shows about how our southern border is totally fucked right now. We got good old Ted Cruz talking about southern border is under siege from the cartels. Biden border crisis, a man-made crisis. Biden has only fueled the raging fire. Yuma, Arizona residents, officials say cartels control U.S. border now. Look at all those fucking drugs that they're importing right there, dude. That's insane. That is fucking insane. Let's see if I can get a picture of it here or not. Yeah, look at all those fucking drugs. That is a shitload of fucking drugs, man. Not to mention a bunch of illegal firearms. I guarantee at least some of these firearms right here are part of fucking Obama's Fast and Furious from his administration then, dude. So, you got all the other pictures there and whatnot, so. Yeah, let's see what it says here for this. Said, all right, man. Officials and locals in Arizona say Mexican cartels that smuggle drugs and people in the U.S. are effectively in control of the southern border, with one person describing the situation as a ticking time bomb. Cartels, which charge as much as $20,000 each to help illegals sneak into the United States, have been using the ongoing illegal immigration surge to overwhelm Border Patrol officials as they run their lucrative trafficking operations. Yuma County Supervisor Jonathan Lanes told Fox News, quote, "This is not a political discussion. This is a national security issue." Yeah, it's a national security threat, dude, for real. You could have anybody come in here and do terrorist shit, dude. Hell, you could have people crossing our southern border right now where you actually have them bringing in biological warfare because they're patient zero for some crazy ass disease or something like that, dude. It's ridiculous entirely, man. It's why you need proper vetting. It's why you need to be able to stop people from coming into your country unabated. Anyway, said unless the situation changes and we take back control from the cartels, the trafficking coming across the border will only get worse. That dude added. Said there's a lot of people that don't like the United States for whatever reason, and there's plenty of people that want to get in here and do some damage. Alex Murrow, a farmer in Yuma, told Fox News, "It's just like a ticking time bomb." Said migrants who can't afford to pony up the hefty smuggling fee will often offer to bring in drugs to pay off their debt for the cartels. More than 2.7 million encounters were reported in the fiscal year 2022, according to data from the Customs and Border Protection. Fox News reported migrant crossings in Yuma sector increased by 171% between 2021 and 2022. Cartels have seen their profits jump from $500 million in 2018 to an estimated $13 billion in 2022. This is why we just need to legalize all drugs, by the way, in America, and just undercut the fucking cartels that way, dude. For real. When you can increase your profits in a 4-year time span from $500 million to $12.5 billion more dollars, that's fucking nuts, dude. Anyways, it's saying Homeland Security Investigation, federal agency that specializes in stopping trafficking. It said whole world is crossing the border, and these are people who want to get who want to get caught. There's a lot of people who don't want to get caught. Where are they going and who's supporting them? That's what's scary. That's what I said before, dude. You have there's no way that in this point in time in history, there's not at least 50 to 100 forward standing armies on US soil right now, dude, that all hate our fucking guts and would all be part of sleeper cells and shit like that, dude, to kill us if something ever goes down. So, yeah, needless to say, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. And enough is enough. It's time to stop. It's time to stop. It's time to shut the fucking border down. It's time to start mass deportations across the board, dude. Seriously. So, anyway. That's pretty much where we're at for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll be back at some point, probably, what is today? Is today Friday? No, today's Thursday. I'll probably be back Friday. I don't know if I'll do anything on here between now and like Friday morning or not. If I do, it might be something as like a Jay Briscoe update or something like that, which I can kind of do that right now, actually. Obviously, I did that thing about Jay Briscoe the other day. Ring of Honor wrestler and stuff like that. Died in a car crash. Update to that one. He apparently, it was a head-on crash. The other woman who was in a different, they were both in trucks of some kind, and she basically head-on collision with him is what it was. She went like right of center and smacked straight front in him is what it was. She was wearing a seatbelt and died. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt and died. And both of his daughters, 12 and 9, are now in critical condition at a hospital, as far as I've heard from the last update. So, prayers for that family. If you're not a praying person, I don't care if you're an atheist or not, dude, like, I say prayers for that family, because let's hope that those children live, honestly, dude. 12 years old, 9 years old is not a life, dude. That is barely starting a life at that point. And, hopefully they can survive. And, it's horrible, obviously, that their father died in that crash, but, hopefully they will survive and be able to make a full recovery then, and that's the thing. The power of prayer is real, man. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it, secondhand too on that one. And it's why I definitely believe in Christ is what it is. I believe in Christ. I believe in God. And I am definitely a servant of them at this point, man. And I always will be. That's all it's about the end of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all in the next one.